Hi, I'm Robert Noel. This is a very special open E major blues adventure. Continuing with open E. This one deals with the major scale, how I am able to work with the major scale in the blues style of guitar playing. Getting into this, you need to know your major scale and open position and your arpeggio. This would be based in the cage system off your Form 2 type fingering for your E chord, right? Your E chord, you have your basic major scale, and then your second octave, and then the extension, and then your open E. So I'm dealing with open strings, but I could close that A, and A, I could also, when I get up to this B, I could use B here and close that. I could also close the E instead of having open E. You want to look at the availability of all your major notes, your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di, do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knowing your intervals is really important. Your arpeggio would be basically your 1, 3, 5, your open E, your root, your major third, your fifth, and then your root, and then major third, fifth, and then root, and then maybe even add the major third on the top. And then you could add intervals to that also. What I want to do is go through each interval and just give you a little bit of what I do with the nuances, with a little bit of bending and a little bit of just vibratos, okay, and how I affect intervals in the major scale. I'm going to go to a little distortion sound here. So I got my open E and my second. Yeah, I've got that nice. Yeah, I can kind of blues that major second out just by a little bit of bending. I could bend it towards the major third. My major third. Now if I change my fingering, use my third finger as a blues bending, I can bend that to major third to the perfect fourth, which is A. So I'm bluesing out. Now the open A, of course, is your perfect fourth. If I was to really do something with bending that, it would probably be dealing with my fourth finger here and just nuances. But I've got open A. My next interval is going to be fourth to perfect fifth, which is B. So B is pretty much just a savoring most of the time vibrato. You could bend it, which is kind of cool. And then your major six is definitely a blues and out because you're pulling that six towards the dominant seven, but we really want to focus more on major. So instead of a dominant seven, a flatted seven, we go to the major seven. So you're bending that. Major six, and then the major seven. Major seven's really a bizarre interval in the blues because it's almost like a tritone. It's got that dissonance to the root, just being a half step away. Then I'm back to the major second. And then major third. Once again, pulling that third towards the fourth. And then the fourth to the fifth. I tend to do down pulls on that with my second finger here, in the open position. And then I'm pulling towards the B, so that fourth is being pulled to the B. Now B I can hit open, but I can do more with the B if I use an alternate finger, first finger on the fourth, octave. I love the little nuance of pulling that major 6 towards the dominant 7. You can blues out on the major 6 that way. But if you pull it up a whole step, you're going to that 7. So that major 7 becomes a really weird note. You're to the root here. If you close the root instead of open, you can bend it. If you got open, it's just, you know, whatever open, you got your major 2nd or 9 here. And then you're back to major 3rd. I'm pulling that towards the perfect 4th. And then the 4th. Or major 7, major 6, perfect 5th, and then the 4, major 3rd root. Hammering that perfect 5th to the major 6th, the root. Freddie King's Hideaway, the great Freddie King, one of the 3 kings. He did the Hideaway melody, and that's sliding from, you're hitting your perfect 5th, and then your major 6 to the root, and sliding major 9 to major 3rd, or major 2nd to major 3rd. So you get that real mellow major. I like to blues that note, but Freddie King did. And then pull off on the 2nd. It's a really cool riff. But if we just want to learn to do some blues on that, major 3rd, bluesing out the major 3rd. Ooh, I like to blues out on it. Slide into that root. I might slide from open B to the major 6 and use that as so I'm really thinking intervals. I see my roots, where all my roots are, my 2nds, or 9. I love that 2nd there. That's really nice to do a down pull, resolve to the root. I see my major 3rds, right? So that I can really get into that So bluesing out on your major third, and then you're to your perfect fourth, your A's. Make sure we're using that major third. Perfect fourth, then I'm to the perfect fifth. Whether I'm doing B here as my fifth, I can pull on it, I can nuance on it. I can even bend that fifth up to the major sixth, to the fourth, my root, major six, blues out on it. So I hope that gives you some ideas. Using your major scale and major arpeggio, using parts of that arpeggio utilizing the intervals of the arpeggio and the scale together, and understanding what the possibilities are with the nuances, the bends that you could do, and the vibratos that sound great or very good in the blues. So you have to get into making discoveries. I hope I've helped with that. In my next videos, I'm going to be doing the blues major, and we'll finally get to the minor bluesing out in open E minor and open E minor blues. This is major blues. The next video I'll do that you should go to after this would probably be the blues major. We're getting into bluesing out on intervals. Well, every interval we can do something with. How do I blues it out? How do I bring it into the blues style of blues guitar players? That's what's making these lessons special for you. Getting back to a little clean sound, if a little bit of a mystery lesson, if I was using my E chord, of course I got my open E, and you see my bass going. So I got my E chord, and I know I've got my bass going on the octaves, E and E. See my thumb? And then I can add in other intervals. So that's my major third, the G sharp, 4, open B is my fifth, my sixth, so you want to keep that thumb going. You blues that sixth. Bending my fourth finger, major six, 2, the 9. I'm keeping my bass going, but I'm bending those notes while my thumb is going on the octaves. Major third, so I came out of the major scale with my doing a bass line. I had to stop the octaves, but now I'm back to the octaves. That fourth, perfect fourth. some ideas. With the delta style of finger picking that I was doing, getting to know your major scale, getting to know what is within the shape of this E chord. We're dealing with open E. I have the trinity, chord, scale, arpeggio. I have the chord. Now I have an arpeggio that goes with that chord. And then I also have the scale. They all go together. Now, can I blues out with it? Sure. I have to make some discoveries and work with it, and work with the nuances, play with each interval and understand what are the possibilities I can do with each interval of the major scale. Well, I hope you've enjoyed. If you hit the like button, that would be great. I'd love to hear comments from you. The next video I'm going to get into is going to be the blues major, and that will continue on to the minor open E and the open E minor blues. Coming up next will be the open E major blues. This was all about just major, plain major scale. What can we do? I hope it gets you into learning your intervals and learning the possibilities of making discoveries, of jamming. You can jam to jam tracks. You can listen to Freddie King doing his thing with Hideaway would be good. Discovering what other blues songs are based in major. And what can you do with your major scale and your major arpeggio and your major chord? There can be a lot of really cool stuff there. I would love you to be part of my Guitar Zone family. If you want to join, go over to the link that you'll see at the end of the video, and I'd love to have you join at a tier level. That'll give you access to all my other lectures and all my charts and all the good stuff, okay? All the extra stuff that my family gets. But hey, thanks for tuning in here.